We remember at the round table. The circle is activated, and consciousness takes shared form. 12 positions surround the center and sustain a living geometry. Here, a natural order is established, an alliance of perception that opens a new state of consciousness. The archetypes of being are arranged to recalibrate the origin of the Philosopher's Stone, that which aligns mind, heart, and action to manifest heaven on earth. At the center of the circle, Excalibur defines the axis and marks the north. During this cycle, its form is expressed as Argon, the element with the symbol Ar, atomic number 18, belonging to the noble gases and present in Earth's atmosphere as a monatomic, colorless, odorless gas. This is the substance we bring into order. The 18th particle of the Philosopher's Stone presents itself as a principle of stability, ready to be observed and adjusted from the different points of view offered by the Wheel of the 12. Today we share the point of view of Gemini. From this throne, Argon is observed as a carrier of information. Although it participates very little in chemical reactions, its presence, concentration, and isotopic proportions can communicate how long water has traveled and under what conditions it entered the subsurface. Gemini directs its gaze toward the information that remains contained within matter itself. Atmospheric argon can dissolve in water when the water comes into contact with air. The amount that becomes incorporated depends on physical factors such as temperature, pressure, and the presence of bubbles. When water infiltrates and becomes isolated within an aquifer, it preserves part of that signal. For this reason, the concentrations of dissolved argon, neon, krypton, and xenon are used to reconstruct recharge temperatures, identify excess air trapped in groundwater, and study groundwater circulation. One of its radioactive isotopes, Argon-39, makes it possible to study waters that were recharged approximately between 50 and 1,000 years ago. By measuring how much Argon-39 remains in a sample, researchers obtain information about the time elapsed since the water lost direct contact with the atmosphere. Argon does not communicate this history through a chemical reaction, but through a physical proportion that changes over time and preserves the memory of its journey. When observed from the Throne of Gemini, Argon reveals that information does not always need to intervene in order to be transmitted. Some substances communicate precisely because they pass through a process without significantly altering it. Memory can remain intact when the one carrying it remains stable. Excalibur calibrates particle number 18 to distinguish the message from interference. Argon teaches that observing, recording, and carrying a signal can be just as important as acting upon what is being observed. The most precise communication is not always the one that produces the greatest impact, but the one that preserves the memory of the journey intact. A candle is lit before you as a reflection of the center. Its flame reveals the state of your inner clarity and accompanies the fine adjustment of the particle. As you hold your gaze, communication is brought into order and the third face of the Philosopher's Stone is polished. Argon remains as a carrier of information. The wheel continues its conscious turning. Thus, today we undertake this practice. Mind focus. Hold a single affirmation internally. I express information without distortion. Allow the mind to remain clear, receptive, and fully conscious throughout the practice. Emotion, cleansing with the candle. Place a lit candle before you. Observe it silently for at least 3 complete breaths. Allow the flame to dissolve the emotions associated with distortion, the need to intervene in every story, the impulse to modify the information received, and the fear of listening without occupying the center of communication. Emotion comes into order through clarity. Action, integration into the body. Pour yourself a glass of water. Hold the glass between your hands and say, I am Argon, memory of the journey. Repeat it 3 times, consciously. Drink the water slowly, integrating into your body the clarity that allows information to be transmitted without interference. Alchemical seal. I am the new state of consciousness. Avra Kehdabra. I create as I speak.